This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. No permit issued for importation of yam, says Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries has sought to assure the public that no permit has been issued for the importation of yam into Jamaica. The ministry in a press release said it had become aware of a social media posting claiming that Jamaica imports a fresh yam originating from China. It said its investigation had revealed no evidence or records of yam being imported from China or any other country. The Agriculture and the Fisheries Ministry is reminding members of the public that the importation of agricultural produce into Jamaica requires an import permit. Failure to obtain a permit for an agricultural import is a breach of the Plants Quarantine Act, and importers are liable for prosecution. MP calls for clear demarcation of government lands to prevent capture. Member of Parliament for St. Catherine Eastern, Denise Daly, has suggested that the government clearly demarcate state-controlled lands to prevent them from being captured. Ms. Daly said signs should be erected at the properties to ensure they are easily identified. Speaking in Parliament on Tuesday, the MP said the current discussion surrounding the illegal acquisition of lands should not be in vain, as the government should use the opportunity to identify state lands as well as green spaces for which development is planned. Ms. Daly strongly condemned the demolition of structures at the illegal settlement near Clifton in St. Catherine.
Madam Speaker, today again I'm calling upon the government to use the opportunity to identify the government lands, to identify where we have green spaces that we have plans for development, and to make sure that we as a government identify that these land belongs to government, or else we are going to have reoccurrences. We need to have clear policies, and we need to empower and educate our people so that they will not do these things that will cause trouble for them.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has proposed the legislative changes to address the wider issue of offering more protection to certain categories of government lands which are not deemed Crown lands. Mr. Holness said Jamaica has advanced in its development to be able to adequately deal with land acquisition challenges. The Prime Minister said his administration will move forward with its plan to assist the citizens who wish to legally acquire property. But he also suggested that the issue of poverty is being used as a political ploy in these kinds of situations.
What the politics of poverty does is to keep people poor by refusing to point them to the direction of policies and programs that will lift them out of poverty. Because if you lift them out of poverty and change their values and perspective, they will no longer be your vote and support base. That is the politics of poverty. So if you notice, Madam Speaker, politicians who practice this politics of poverty can never really show how they lift people out of poverty.
Bail set at $2 million for farmer on drug charges. Alan Reid, the St. Anne farmer who was reportedly held with $420,000 worth of cocaine in his luggage at the Sangster International Airport in St. James on October 1, has been offered bail in the sum of $2 million. Reid, 64, who is of addresses in Charlton, St. Anne and Thornton Heath, England, got the bail offer on Wednesday as he appeared in the St. James Parish Court, where he is to answer to several breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act. During the bail hearing, one of his attorneys, Adrian Days, told the presiding parish judge, Sasha Ashley, that Reid had never been previously arrested or convicted and was not a flight risk. Mr. Reid can report as often as the court requires, and the court is already in possession of his travel documents. There is sufficient premise for an anticipation of favorable treatment by the court, as there is no reason for him to harbor flight or consideration of flight and conditions that can address those issues, said Days. Doesn't he have a British passport? Asked Judge Ashley, referencing the prosecution's hesitation to offer bail due to concerns about Reid reportedly being a British resident. He does have a British passport, and the police have it. He has not resided in England, as he lives in Jamaica, Days explained. Meanwhile, the court was told that while several witness statements had been completed for the prosecution's case file, the forensic certificate was still outstanding. Judge Ashley subsequently offered bail to Reid in the sum of $2 million with a surety, with the stipulation that $1 million be paid in cash. Reid was also ordered to surrender his fingerprints and report to the police twice per week. The court also issued a stop order for him at all ports, restricting him from traveling overseas for the duration of the case. The case will be mentioned on December 13. Allegations are that on October 1 at 3:20 p.m., Reid was preparing to board a flight to Manchester, England, at the airport when he was intercepted by officers at a security checkpoint. His luggage was searched and 6 packages of substance identified as cocaine, along with 2 packages of ganja, were reportedly found. Under caution, Reid reportedly said, "Paul gave me the bags yesterday," although it was not clarified who he was referring to. He was subsequently arrested and charged with possession, dealing, and attempting to export 8.5 kilograms of cocaine, and possession and attempting to export 2.03 ounces of ganja. Reid is also represented by attorney at law Martin Thomas. Judge wants brother's murder case tried within 2 years. The St. Mary brothers, accused of killing 4 people, including a Chinese couple, in separate incidents, are scheduled to return to the Home Circuit Court on November 24 for a plea and a case management hearing. The date was scheduled yesterday when Nigel Walters, alias Troy, and Nicholas Walters appeared in court via video link and were further remanded. The defendants are facing 4 counts of murder in 2 separate incidents in St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. In the first case, Chinese business operators Shi Yongshu, 53, and He Kong Wan, 48, were shot and killed during a robbery at their supermarket in Bellevue, St. Elizabeth. 3 gunmen were reportedly caught on closed-circuit television footage posing as customers in the supermarket before the deadly attack. Following investigations, the brothers were arrested and charged. The second incident involves a 45-year-old businesswoman, Sophia Brown, and her customer, 58-year-old farmer Bernie Lewis, both of Long Hill District in White House, Westmoreland. Brown was at her wholesale on January 12 when the brothers allegedly entered posing as customers. Both women were reportedly assisting the men when they were shot and killed. Yesterday, when the case was mentioned, the court was informed that the arresting officer's statements were outstanding. Consequently, a plea and a case management hearing was scheduled for the prosecution to complete the file, as well as disclosure to the defense. Justice Vinette Graham Allen, in the meantime, has urged the prosecution to ensure that the case is ready. Everything must be ready for the case to be tried. Come December 2022, it will be 1 year now, and we want to ensure that this trial takes place within 2 years, she said. Attorney at law Denise Walker appears for Nigel, and the senior counsel C.J. Mitchell and Kerrian Wilson represent Nicholas. Speaker blasts MPs as lack of quorum almost derailed the sitting of the House. Speaker of the House of Representatives Marissa Dalrymple Philibert blasted her colleagues in the House of Representatives on Wednesday for their lackadaisical approach to the nation's business when only 15 members were present for the start of proceedings. That meant the House had convened without a quorum, a breach of the standing orders which dictates how the Parliament must be run. 16 of the 63 members of Parliament must be present for the sitting to be properly convened. As Dalrymple Philibert proceeded on one of her regular upbraiding sessions, and with the sitting less than a minute away from being called off, the Member of Parliament for Central Kingston, Donovan Williams, entered the chamber and saved the day. The Speaker had set 2:20 p.m. to call off the sitting that has a 2 p.m. start. The standing order speaks to a 5-minute wait before adjourning a sitting where there is no quorum, and as the minute hand on the clock went past 2:19 p.m., Williams was seen hurrying to his seat. Leader of Opposition Business in the House, Philip Paulwell, had earlier alerted the Speaker to the fact that the sitting had convened without the required quorum. While the Speaker is known to regularly upbraid MPs for arriving late or for behaving in a manner she views as being unbecoming of the office holders, on Wednesday she went further, chastising them for creating an embarrassing situation. "I am very disheartened by this type of behavior," said Dalrymple Philibert. She added that it is a sad day and a poor reflection on all of us. The Speaker told the MPs present in the chamber that it was their behavior that gives the media reason to write about them in a negative way. They say sometimes when the press writes some things we get offended, but let me tell you, there is no need for us to get offended on this one, because we have said it time and time again that this is the highest court of the land and we are elected to represent the people, and this is our working time, she said. When the press writes about us, we must swallow it, because there is no excuse for it. That is what we are elected and paid to do, she stated. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.